In this video, I'm going to teach you how to add arrows and refine a presentation. So you can see here that we have the presentation that will be used to help movers or assistants or anyone else place furniture or FF&E into the reception area at this job site. But right now, all we have is the floor plan and the pieces of furniture, but no viewer would be able to know with certainty what goes where. And so I'm going to just make a couple of adjustments first. I'm going to adjust the locations of some of these images to make it a little bit more refined. Now, again, maybe no one's going to care about this, but if we're going to make a presentation and we're going to have it come from our office, we want to make sure that it looks as nice as possible. You never know who's going to see the work that you produce if you leave it on a job site, so might as well make it look good. So you can see I'm just adjusting pieces or images on here so that it looks a little bit neater, a little bit nicer. I'm making sure that my images don't overlap and that there is just a slight sense of symmetry and order to this. Now what I'm going to do is create leader lines or arrows. People outside of the industry often call these arrows, but design professionals refer to these as leaders. And so the terms themselves are interchangeable. So I'm going to go to insert and then under shapes, I'm going to click on line arrow. And then all I'm going to do now is just create an arrow from this chair. And when you click it, it actually just like creates an arrow itself. And you don't really have a whole lot of control about the direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the end of the arrow to go to this chair. And I'm going to drag this over here like this. Now, in the design profession, we would actually want to add perhaps a little elbow here, just to make things look a little bit neater. But I really don't want to go, too I don't know. I don't want to go too extreme with the way that this is drawn because I'm trying to make this quick, right? Because this is going to just be used for movers. I'm probably not able to charge my client for this, and so it's kind of like we're trying to achieve the very best that we can in the time that we have. So if I go to style, I'm going to just increase the style so that it's a little bit thicker. I'm going to do it in blue so that it's got a slight contrast from the background and so that the viewer will be able to at least differentiate it from the other items on here. So I'm going to go back to style. I'd actually like to increase it just a little bit more if I can, but it doesn't seem like it's allowing me to. That's okay. So you can see here we've got two, and I'm going to copy and paste another one so that they know that it's this chair as well, that they're both going to be used for the same thing. And then I'm going to connect to the end of the leader line so that they both point back to this chair right here. And I'm going to overlap my end of my arrow so that it touches the chair here and touches the chairs over here. Then I'm going to copy and paste using Control C and Control V over here to this table, and then I'm going to move it over here. Now, I don't love how close these arrows are to each other. It's never good practice to overlap too much, but I don't have the flexibility with my arrows that I would like, or maybe what I would have in a different program. So I'm trying to just do it, make it look the best that I can. So you can see I'm being mindful not to overlap this piece of furniture because it's going to have its own leader. Okay, now I'm going to copy and paste here as well. And I'm just copying and pasting because it ensures that I get the arrow always the same size and the same dimensions as well. And I can't always get these elbows to do exactly what I want them to do. but it gets the point across, and that's the most important. Like, for example, this one, we could maybe remove the elbow here. There we go. And I tend to not use angled arrows because in the design profession, we don't really use angled leaders or angled arrows. We tend to just put an elbow like what you see over here instead. Okay, so for this one, same thing, we can use it over here. And it can come right across. And I'm going to straighten up that line there. And then for the desk over here, I'm going to need one with an elbow. So I'm going to just copy this one over here. So we want to always, when we're bringing in leaders, always have the leader lines as short as possible. And because it just removes kind of any visual clutter. You can see here, I could mess with these a little bit more. For example, I could move this chair over just a little bit more if I wanted to. And then that would allow me to shorten this leader line a little bit. And I could shift these items over just a little bit if I wanted to, and it would reduce the length. So you can see here, that's helping out just a little bit. And then when we zoom out, you can see that we've got most of the slide filled up. I'm going to grab all these and I'm going to shift all of them up. And the reason why is because I want to leave a little bit of room at the bottom and kind of consistent margins around just in case any notes or anything needed to be added. This isn't something necessarily that always happens, but we want to leave the designer a little bit of room. Just if we've got it, might as well design the negative space on this piece of paper so that the designer has the room to make notes. And so now you can see that we have added arrows to this presentation to connect the furniture pieces to the line drawings on the floor plan. And we've refined the presentation so that it's just a little bit more designerly and user-friendly.